guys, welcome to CHIRO Coffee Chat. I'm Dr. Pete.
I'm Dr. Carla.
Today, we're going to talk just a little bit about research in chiropractic. This is a huge topic. There's so many things. If you follow us on Instagram, you saw this week that as of now, March of 2021, there are over 10,000 published studies, either involving chiropractic or chiropractic adjusting, which in the literature is called SMT, or spinal manipulative therapy.
Yes.
So we can't cover all of that, but we're going to cover just a couple of our favorite papers that help us really explain why we love it.
Yeah,
so
how
much.
chiropractic can help you.
How it can help you. Yeah. So I'm going to go first. I couldn't limit it.
Wait. We gotta explain our coffee choices. This is CHIRO coffee.
Thank you.
Chats,
Thank you.
right?
Thank you. You go first.
So today, changing it up a little bit, we got the Tim Hortons iced coffee.
Nice.
It's a little cold out, but
I have a French vanilla. I know it's high in fat and sugar, and I usually have one black coffee a day, but you can see outside, it's dusk, the sun's going down, and I'm having a second coffee, which in this case is a French vanilla. So, thank you for the coffee.
now
Cheers.
we can dive in.
Now we can get into it. Yep. Okay, so I have two papers. I couldn't limit it to just one. I have two papers. The first one of my favorites is this one right here. I'm going to read you the title. It is called Cerebral Perfusion in Patients with Chronic Neck and Upper Back Pain, Preliminary Observations. This was published in JMPT, which is the Journal of Manipulative and Physiological Therapeutics, and this was a 2012 issue. We will link these papers in the description. Yeah, I was going to say description below. So this paper, this was a study that was done and basically was looking at comparing for patients with neck pain. What they did was they had them fill out the NDI, Neck Disability Index, and they scored them, I believe, mild, moderate, and severe. Okay. And then what they did was they had the participants underwent a palpation exam. So that is when, if you guys have been to a chiropractor and they sit you down or they lay you down and they push on your neck and different vertebra and you go, oh, it's tender there or whatever. So a palpation exam. And for what they found was that for the groups with moderate and severe NDI scores, they had through PET scanning, which is scanning of the brain for blood flow, they actually had reduced blood flow to two regions of their brain. Okay. So that is
pretty significant.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
Very significant. So a couple of things I want to point out, or a couple of things I've highlighted. So when they're palpating, they're looking for what's called segmental dysfunction. That's what chiropractors deal with. Areas where two vertebrae don't move properly, they're locked up, the surrounding tissues, the joints are irritated. And they were looking for painful and restricted segments. So I'm not going to read the whole paper. I would like to.
It's a long one.
But what they found was that in the scores, in the moderate and severe NDI scores, they found, guess what? More segmental dysfunctional segments. So the more uncomfortable or more pain the patients had, the more spinal problems they had. Yeah. So you might say that's not too interesting, and maybe it's common sense, but they did find the decrease in those two, the moderate and the severe groups, decreased blood flow to certain parts of the brain. So, yeah. So,
I know.
So.
They did the PET scan.
Oh, so listen to this. Nociceptive stimuli from dysfunctional motion segments of the spine activate the segmental sympathetic nervous system, and these somatic afferent stimuli will cause reactions that can affect or cause cerebral hypoperfusion, decreased blood flow.
So what does that mean?
Okay. What it means is, it means that when your spine is locked up and tender and not moving, it's irritating the branches or parts of the SNS, sympathetic nerve endings, which then go on to the spinal cord, and then from the spinal cord can go into effector. So it says in the paper, blood vessels can be seen as an end organ of the sympathetics, and sympathetic irritation can cause those blood vessels to constrict, and it's not good to have decreased blood flow to your brain. So, and then quickly, so the next paper takes off from that. This one's called glucose metabolic changes in the brain and muscles of patients with non-specific neck pain treated by spinal manipulation therapy. PET study. So similar imaging.
Yeah.
In this study, I got to keep it real brief, but they so with patients, they adjusted them and they checked to see how it changed a number of things, including blood flow patterns to brain and muscles of the neck.
What so same as the study before, yeah?
Well, this study didn't do the adjusting part. This study just looked at the people with the blocked segments. These are not the same authors, by the way. But what they found here was that I'm going to read a little part. So activated areas in the present study are similar to those to biofeedback. So when you do biofeedback, there tends to be decreased muscle tone and decreased salivary amylase levels. So they found that the adjustment that people got produced a similar response in the people, and basically they're attributing that in part to a reduction in sympathetic nerve system activity that followed the adjustment. So what am I trying to say? Spinal segments, parts of your spine that don't move and that are tender, are affecting not just that area, but perhaps your whole body and your brain. And chiropractic adjustments can change that, and that may be why you may feel the way you do after an adjustment, which is what? Like a weight's been lifted off your shoulder, like you can breathe, like a fog lifted off your head. It may be because changes are happening in the sympathetics that might change blood flow patterns and different things in the brain, and certainly muscle tightness. We know that. And so that's I think really cool to talk about. So let's get on to your
Well, if it's
study.
inhibiting sympathetic, that means you're kind of shifting from that fight, flight, your normal, everyday, stressful, always amped up.
It shouldn't be normal every day.
Shouldn't be, but it is normal for almost every single one of us to be in that constant state of stress. So what an adjustment is doing is it's inhibiting that sympathetic system. So maybe you feel really tired after an adjustment. That's maybe the parasympathetic. So your rest and digest, trying to heal, kicking in for maybe the first time in a very long time.
Which I think is so powerful. And that's what makes chiropractic or chiropractic adjustments not just like a therapy for pain, but actually a healing profession where we're changing someone's physiology, and hopefully they perceive that and they can start to be aware of how does stress feel versus how does relax feel, because we have to get to relax ideally every day or multiple times a day. So
and most people really don't.
Most of us don't.
No.
Okay, you're up.
All right, so it's my article time. So I've always been super interested in how chiropractic can affect and help people with chronic migraines, and that's something I've always kind of lived with my whole life. I thought it was just something that, I get migraines all the time. Nothing can really help that unless I take a pill every day. And chiropractic was the one thing that truly did help my migraines almost completely go away, both in intensity and frequency. So any article that I read that kind of helps explain the mechanism behind why chiropractic can help with migraines is really big interest to me. So found one. It's from the journal Cephalgia.
We'll have this in the references. It's not that funny, but it's good. Well, maybe it is. Continue.
Multimodal chiropractic care for migraine, a pilot randomized control trial. So what this was looking at is if spinal manipulation can reduce the frequency of migraines in patients. And these patients received 10 sessions over 14 weeks with chiropractic manipulative therapy. And they found that indeed it does help reduce migraine frequency. So all the patients were asked to keep a migraine journal of their daily experience, both intensity and frequency, and they found that people that were receiving chiropractic adjustments found a pretty good decrease in the frequency of their migraines. So
and that's something we see in the office too.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty with a lot of regularity. And just to sum the whole thing up, some of the mechanisms probably do have to do with influencing the sympathetic nervous system.
For sure.
How chiropractic adjustments may affect that and things like migraine.
Yeah.
So, cool. Well, I hope you enjoyed. We will be back soon with another episode of the CHIRO Coffee Chat. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoy the videos. And
give us a like.
give us a like too, yeah. Comment. That grade 2.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see you on the next video.